Okay. Hi guys. Today we are going to learn the theories of motivation. Last year, all of you have studied the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, right? I hope all of you remember this theory. This consists of 5 needs, raised by Maslow in the form of hierarchy, which consists of the physiological needs, safety needs, belongingness and love needs, esteem needs, and self actualization needs. Since you have done this theory last year, we are not going to do this in detail. Another theory which all of you had done last year is Douglas MacGregor's theory X and theory Y. Okay. So what is this theory X and theory Y? It comprises of two different categories of people. X category of people are those who don't like work, they shirk work, they don't take responsibility. And Y type of people are those who are very proactive, they accept responsibilities, they are very creative. Now, the theory which we have to learn here in SYBMS in our subject motivation and leadership is theory Z. What is this theory Z? This theory Z has been given by William Auchi. Who is William Auchi? He is an American professor and author in business management. And he has given this theory Z. This theory Z is a combination of what? Of theory X and theory Y. Okay, which we have learned last year. Theory X and theory Y, both are combined. The best point from both the theories are taken, and a new theory has been created which is called as theory Z. Okay, so it is an integration of American management principles and the Japanese management principles. Theory Z is an approach to management based upon a combination of American and Japanese management philosophies. This theory has been propounded to improve the organizational performance. Who has given this theory? William Auchi. Remember this name properly. William Auchi. Now we have seen the characteristics of theory X and theory Y. To summarize quickly, theory X, people dislike work, they have to be forced to work, manager has to give them punishments, making use of the stick policy. उनको punishment देना पड़ता है तो ही वो काम करेंगे. Theory Y को summarize करेंगे तो managers assume that people don't need too much supervision. They are self committed, they will do work on their own, they are very proactive and so on. Now, this theory Z is a combination of good points of theory X and theory Y. In theory Z, it is assumed that workers are more participative, they are capable of taking more and more responsibilities. In this theory, the employees are motivated through job rotation, they are encouraged to broaden their skills, and training is continuously given to them. The workers have a high need to be supported by the company and a high value for the working environment. The workers have a very well developed sense of order, discipline, moral obligation to work hard. Hmm? Now, what are the features of this theory Z? This theory Z is based on mutual trust between whom? Between the manager and the employee. So, there has to be mutual trust between them. There is a strong bond between the organization and the employee. Employees are fully involved in all decisions taken by the organization. This type of this theory Z is for integrated organization. What is integrated organization? Which is a mixture of both. The Japanese as well as American working culture combined together. There is full coordination and there is informal control system in theory Z, and every human resource is developed. That is, the employees are developed, their personalities are developed, their skills are developed. This theory has several limitations. See, theory Z, it looks very good. but it is difficult to implement because Japanese companies, they do not operate on the same principles as the US companies. Both operate on different principles, so it is very difficult to implement theory Z. In theory Z, workers who are doing different jobs, they are supposed to take decisions together, which may not be possible. वो भी difficult है ये. A worker in another country who does not expect lifetime employment at the same firm may decide to switch employers. In theory, sir, it is believed that the worker will continue to work in the same organization forever, but that is not practical, that is not possible. So, the concept of theory Z hypothesis that an organization should not be structured, there is no formal structure, but all of you know that if there is no formal structure, there is going to be chaos in the organization. So that is about theory Z. Now we come to the second theory which we are supposed to study in our subject motivation and leadership. This second theory is called as equity theory. Equity theory was developed by John Stacy Adams. Please remember this name properly. Equity theory was developed by John Stacy Adams. What did John Stacy Adams say? He asserted that employees seek to maintain equity. They want equity between what? Between two things. One is input, which they bring to the job, and outcome that they receive. Right? What is input? Input is their talents, their qualifications, their experience, their time, their skill that they bring for to the job. And what is the outcome they receive? Salary, pay, promotion, recognition, reward, all this is outcome. So what does Adam say? He says that employees seek to maintain equity between these two things. Which two things? Input and outcome. Okay. And they also compare this with what? Perceived input and outcome of others. Right? So there are four things which are important here in the equity theory. My input, my outcome compared to others' input, others' outcome. So this is a summary of the equity theory. Individuals are motivated by fairness. They want the management to be fair. Higher an individual's perception of equity, the more motivated they will be, and vice versa. This is what Adams says, John Stacy Adams says. Now let us see the theory in a little detail. As I had explained to you, what is the meaning of input and what is the meaning of outcome. Input is what I put into the job, my time, effort, ability, loyalty, tolerance, flexibility, integrity, commitment, and so on. And what I get from the job, pay, bonus, perk, benefit, and so on, right? So this is your input, this is your outcome. Both have to be balanced. See, look at this scale over here. It is the same. Agar same hai, to equity hai, right? Now, Adam Smith has given some uh, formulas over here. Don't get worried about the formula, they are very easy to remember. Remember that the first line over here, the first one is the most important. This is where there is equity. This is where the employee is fully motivated, right? So, in this condition of equity, what happens? My outcome divided by my input is equal to my somebody else's other employees outcome upon input. So you just assume that this is for you, employee number one, and this is for employee number two. So if employee number one's outcome upon input is equal to employee number two's outcome upon input, then the condition is equity. In such condition, the employee will be fully motivated. Now let us see the other two conditions. In these two conditions, what is there? Here, employee number one's outcome upon input is less than employee number two's outcome upon input. So in that case, what will happen? Underpayment will happen. Okay, employee one is underpaid. So all of you know that if you are not paid properly, your motivation is never going to be high. It is going to be low only. Correct? Third case is where employee number one's outcome upon input is more than employee number two's outcome upon input. Now you will feel कि मेरा आउटकम ज्यादा है तो मेरा मोटिवेशन हाई होना चाहिए. This will be for only a very small period of time. If you are getting more than what you have contributed to the organization, your attitude slowly will become very casual and you will start becoming lazy. You will not work hard because you know मुझे तो पैसा मिलने ही वाला है, recognition मिलने ही वाला है, मैं काम नहीं करूंगा तो भी मिलेगा. So definitely here also motivation will go down. Okay, so this is what the equity theory tells us. It is equity is measured by comparing what? Ratio of contribution and benefits, that is input and output for each person. From there you will find out whether equity is there or not. Now this theory again has both benefits and disadvantages. Benefits kya hai? It recognizes the influence of social comparison on motivation. It also makes one realize that motivation system in the organization needs to be equal and fair, and it adopts a realistic approach to motivation. But disadvantage क्या है? It is difficult to find out or judge perception about input and outcome. कैसे measure करने का? मेरा talent इतना है, कितना किलो talent है, हम लोग measure नहीं कर सकते उसको. मेरा experience इतना है. I can measure experience. My experience is 20 years. But how can I measure skill of any employee? Not possible. बराबर है? Outcome में I can measure the salary. I can compare salary, but I cannot compare appreciation given to me by manager. So it is difficult to calculate all this. ये formula तो बना दिया, but उसको calculate कैसे करना है? It is difficult. And this comparison is very subjective in nature. बराबर है ना? It is not objective in nature. So these formulas are not objective at all. The theory does not specify what individual employee will do to re-establish equity. बराबर है? So there is no solution given. कि क्या करना चाहिए अगर इक्विटी नहीं है तो. So these are the limitations of this theory. We go further now. The third theory which is there in our syllabus is Victor Vroom's expectancy theory. Remember the name properly. Victor Vroom's expectancy theory. Okay, so Victor Vroom has said that in this theory he has proposed that an individual will behave or act in a certain way because they are motivated to select a specific behavior over other behaviors due to what they expect the result of that selected behavior will be. Again, don't get confused with all these words. It is as simple as, you just remember this formula and remember the meaning of these words, and that will really, really help you. So, what is the formula over here? Expectancy multiplied by instrumentality multiplied by valence is equal to motivation. Okay. Again, I'll repeat this. Expectancy theory proposes what? An individual will behave in a particular way. Why? Because they are motivated to select a specific behavior over other behaviors due to what they expect the result of that selected behavior will be. For example, in the classroom, when students are sitting and a teacher is teaching, students will behave very nicely. They will respect, they will answer questions because they know if their behavior is good, they are going to get good internal marks, right? If their attendance is good, their interaction is good, they will get good internal marks. So that expectation is there. That is why they behave in a particular way. Now let us try to understand meaning of all these terms. First term is expectancy. So expectancy theory has these three components. Which are the three components? Expectancy, instrumentality and valence. What is expectancy? Expect करना मतलब क्या? कोई भी हम काम कर रहे हैं तो उसके बदले हमको कुछ मिलेगा, ऐसे सोचना. Right? That is expectancy. It is the belief that one's effort will result in attainment of desired performance. So as a student, if you are behaving properly in the classroom, you expect कि आपकी जो टीचर है आपको अच्छे से ध्यान देगी, आपको अच्छा मार्क्स देगी. That is your expectancy. that will lead to your performance, right? Expectancy will lead to a particular performance or particular behavior. Second, instrumentality. What is instrumentality? It is the belief that a person will receive a reward if the performance expectation is met. For example, you believe that in the classroom, if you give answers, then the teacher will praise you. You are expecting that reward. That is called as outcome of your performance. That is termed as instrumentality. Okay. And third component of this theory is valence. Valence is characterized by the extent to which a person values a given outcome or reward. हाँ, आपको ये जो मैंने एग्जाम्पल बोला, जो टीचर आपको प्रेज करती है, वो प्रेज का वैल्यू है कि नहीं? इफ यू फील अरे मुझे कुछ फायदा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है प्रेज करे कि नहीं करे, देन द बैलेंस बिकम जीरो फॉर यू. बट इफ यू ट्रीट इट एज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, मुझे प्रेज मिल रहा है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, देन द बैलेंस इज वेरी हाई, right? So this is valence. It is the extent to which a person values the given outcome or reward, right? So expectancy theory is a combination, multiplication of all these three components: expectancy, instrumentality, valence. If all these are put together, then only motivation will be there. So in any organization, all these three things need to be there. They have to be there. Now again, this theory has certain merits and demerits. Merits kya hai? It recognizes individual differences in work motivation. It highlights role of individual goals, and it explains why an individual behavior acts in a particular way. This particular theory is consistent with the management by objectives. However, difficulties kya hai? Again, same things. It is very difficult to practice this. And how will you measure balance? How will you measure instrumentality? How will you measure expectancy? All these are subjective terms. They are not objective. So these are the okay. Valency theory is given by Lawrence and Norio in 2002. This model is a holistic way of looking at employee motivation beyond the typical pay model that is prevalent in the corporate world today. So this four drive model given by Lawrence and Norio speaks about four different factors. These are four drives which motivate an employee. First one, acquire and achieve. Here you can see the diagram over here, picture over here, carrot and stick. If you want your employees to be motivated, you have to use this carrot and stick, right? Every employee will be motivated through this way of motivation. You acquire and achieve. Second drive is bonding and belonging. Every human being is a social animal. Every human being wants to belong to a particular group. They want to be loyal to their group. So if that strong bond is there, then the motivation is very high. Third drive is comprehend and challenge. Every human being also wants challenges. They want to achieve more and more in life. So that is a very important motivating factor. And the fourth one is define and defend. This is not considered very important while motivating employees. So we have seen four theories of motivation. The first one which we saw was Auchi's theory Z. Then the second one we learnt was the equity theory. The third one we learnt was Victor Vroom's expectancy theory. And the last one which we learnt was Valency's four drive theory. Okay. With that, we have covered unit number 1. We have finished with the whole unit. We have learned about what is motivation, features of motivation, what are the motivating factors, different types of motivation, and we have seen the four different theories of motivation. Thank you.